Read. Aren't you supposed to, at some point, rely on muscle memory, which implies less conscious thinking about it? Yes. So this is where the more you do it, this is actually a really good question. That muscle memory will come into play. So you don't have to think about every little thing. But you're still thinking of the next things. So for example, let's say with drawing, when you first start out learning how to draw, you're going to start thinking, okay, like a lot of people when they're first taught how to draw, it's okay, start with the head. Okay, it's going to be a circle, and this is a terrible circle. Okay, we've got a circle. Now we create a slightly tapered rectangle, and okay, where's our proportions? Center. Okay, that's where the eyes would be. Creepy eyes. So you're thinking of all of these kind of basic things, these building blocks. Same thing with animation. You're going to start thinking, okay, I have to rotate the hips, and okay, now I have to think, okay, translate X, okay, translate Y, what's that doing? You're thinking of all the different attributes. But once you get better, you don't have to think about this anymore. This is muscle memory. So instead, for example, I could just start drawing the head, and now I'm thinking of new things. Is, for example, okay, the head, there's this kind of flat plane on this side here. We got the jawline right in there, which then comes through here. Okay. The orbits of the eye come in here. So I'm starting to add more stuff. I'm still thinking in the kind of the back of my brain, circle, rectangle, but now I'm adding more stuff. I could start adding in more of the anatomical details. Same thing with animation. When you're first starting out, you're having to think of all of these basic stuff, but then you still have that in your brain. You're still thinking about them technically, but you are now adding in, okay, I want this part to overshoot. So if that's overshooting, that arm should overlap over here. There's going to be a little bit of an offset there. The clavicle should probably lead a little bit. This clavicle should drag. You're starting to think of all of these more advanced concepts. So it just kind of builds up on itself. You could almost think about it like weightlifting. So I'll just go full screen instead of watching that creepy drawing I did. So think of weightlifting. When you're starting to lift some weights, let's say you start and you're lifting 20 pounds. I'm not sure what that would be in kilos. You'd think, being Canadian, I would have that memorized. But you lift 20 something. And you start, and that's hard. Lifting that weight, it takes all of your energy, all your focus to lift that. Now, as you get better, you start lifting 30 or 40. Does that mean that you've stopped lifting the original 20? No, you've just added 20 more. So you're lifting the original 20 with more. Same thing with drawing and animation. You haven't stopped thinking about those things. They're just, you're so used to it now, it's second nature. You don't have to focus on just doing that first 20 and hopefully getting it up. Now that's easy. That first 20, no problem. You're still lifting it though. I hope that makes sense. A weird analogy.